What's going on, guys? It's Matt once again. May the force be with you, and welcome to the Pop Complex. Today, I'm here in front of my Star Wars loose collection. I've got some Black Series on these two shelves behind me, going all the way down to the floor. And as you can see up top, I have some vintage loose and a few other miscellaneous Star Wars items. But today, we're going to be doing a special unboxing of the Star Wars Black Series archive editions that are on shelves right now. First, we have the archive from the Black Series Hoth Han Solo, and then we also have the Hoth Luke Skywalker as well from the archive series. Now, the Luke is a reissue. He was previously issued with the actual deluxe Wampa figure, and I have that down here as well. We'll compare that in the video when I get these unboxed. And the Han Solo was previously issued as a deluxe version with a full-size Tauntaun as well, but he was actually the dark blue, the navy coat version. This is a different version of Han Solo, and he does have the brown coat as well. So stick around, guys. You're not going to want to miss this. Let's get these guys unboxed and take a closer look. Alright guys, here we are once again at the Pop Complex, and we're going to be unboxing the Star Wars Black Series Hoth Han Solo and Hoth Luke Skywalker. These are part of the archive editions of the Black Series, which means that these are reissues of older figures that have already been previously issued in the Black Series, but they're no longer able to be found, or they've been issued out for so long that they're just really hard to find or unattainable. Now, the thing that makes these two interesting is that these are not just straight up reissues. The Han Solo was previously issued with a Tauntaun, and that was back in 2014, I believe, when the Black Series was very early in its introduction. And the likeness of Han Solo was a little odd, to say the least. It nowhere near looks as good as these new photorealistic figures that Hasbro is doing, and the Luke Skywalker was also previously issued with the Wampa. And I will show you guys that here at the end of the video, do some comparisons from those older figures compared to these newer figures. But the characters themselves are reissues from that Hoth original Hoth wave, if you will, of the two deluxe figures. So the likenesses are really, really good, guys. The sculpts that they're able to do on these photorealistic figures, especially with the Harrison Ford, the Han Solo figures, looks absolutely amazing. They look just like Harrison Ford. So we'll take a closer look here. We have Hoth Han Solo, and he does have the brown jacket this time as opposed to the blue jacket that did come with the Tauntaun. So as you can see here, get a closer look, looks a whole lot like Harrison Ford. I think the Bespin Han Solo and the new indoor trench coat version, which I both have, they really are knocking it out of the park with the Harrison Ford likeness. And he does come with his over the neck, it's sort of like a monocular, if you will, viewer that he can see at far range in the snow on Hoth. He did use that, and it comes with his classic blaster pistol as well. So there's Han in his snow gear and his brown jacket as opposed to the blue. And we'll flip it around here to the back. You've got a little bio here with Han Solo from Hoth that you can pause and read. Got a little bit of artwork there from the film. Now these are branded with the Lucasfilm 50, so they are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm Limited Studios. And they give you a little bit of a Star Wars timeline here, as it's getting pretty convoluted and pretty complex as far as what movies take place when and where, especially with the new, side stories that they're introducing, like Rogue One, Solo, the Clone Wars, the cartoons, Rebels, the sequels, and the Mandalorian as well. It's getting a little complex with the timeline, but got some legal stuff here and branding there on the bottom as well. Pretty basic figure on the card. And we also have the Luke Skywalker Hoth. And now this one really looks a lot more like Mark Hamill than the previous release. So that's another high point of these newer figures with the photorealistic face. You can really see that looks a lot more like Mark Hamill than the previous. I'm not going to say it's the best Mark Hamill likeness that they've currently done, I think the new Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker figure that was issued, I think is a Walmart exclusive with the cloth cape. I think that one comes very close. And of course the Dagobah training figure that comes with the Yoda, the 2-pack. That one I think looks most like Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker than any of these so far. But he does come with the blaster pistol, and he does come with his signature lightsaber as well. So flip it around to the back, you have the same. You have some artwork there of Luke in his Hoth gear, and you have a little bio that you can pause and read there as well. Same thing with the timeline and the legal and branding information. And there we go. So guys, let's go ahead and get these guys out of the package and take a closer look at the sculpting, the details, the articulation. Stay tuned. All right guys, and we're back. We have Han and Luke out of the packaging. So let's take a closer look. First, we'll take a look at the Hoth version of Han Solo. So you take a closer look, once again, you can really get a good look at the sculpting on the likeness of the face. Really a lot closer to Harrison Ford than previously before. So he does come with the brown jacket, like I pointed out, as opposed to the previous issued figure that had the blue, the dark blue coat. This hood right here, as you can see, is split there in the back so that it is removable. Let's see if I can go ahead and pop that off for you guys right now. It's on there pretty good. Okay, so as you guys can see, the hood is removable, but it looks very weird without the hood on. And his goggles are removable as well, so you can actually, if you wanted to, position those down over his eyes and then put the hood back on, you're more than welcome to do that as well. But he looks very odd without the hood. He's not really portrayed in the movie as not having the hood on, maybe down off of his head, hanging off the back here somehow. But it is cool that they gave Dave the option to remove that. So I'm gonna get that back on, and then we'll take a closer look at Han. Okay guys, taking a look at the rest of the articulation on Han. His head is on a ball joint, so he can go side to side and up and down a little bit with the restriction of this hood on his face. He has a shoulder joint here, so his arm can go up and down. It's a little bit stiff here, and forward and back. And he has a double jointed elbow. He has a molded in trigger finger on his right hand, and he has one on his left hand as well. So it looks like he is able to hold his blaster in either hand. And there's a closer look at the classic Han Solo blaster. The paint deco on the blaster is really good. I don't know if you guys can get a closer look at the detail on the handle of the blaster pistol right there, but it has the little grips molded in and has the silver paint on the actual barrel and muzzle of the blasters. You can see there, guys, if my camera will focus. It's a very good detail. I like it when the weapons are given the detail that they actually have in the film, as opposed to being painted straight black or straight gray. So very cool. He has a holster here that you can also unbuckle and place that blaster down in his holster. So back to the articulation. He does not have a wrist swivel here at the actual wrist like normal Hasbro figures do, where they can go in and out, up and down, side to side, that wrist swivel. He has a wrist swivel articulation that's built here at the base of his glove, so that his hand can go to the left and to the right here at the forearm as opposed to the wrist. So there is no rocking in and out, forward and back of the wrist on this particular figure, but it is pretty consistent with the original Han Solo Black Series Hoth figure that was released with the Tauntaun. We'll take a closer look at that here in just a second, guys. I have that right here. So he has articulation here at the ab crunch, so he can go from side to side, forward and back at any angle there within the confines of the coat and the belt itself, and he can twist to the left and to the right. Has this belt that's sculpted on, or it's not sculpted on, it's actually a separate piece, but this lower part of the jacket is a separate sculpt. It's a separate piece jointed here at the ab crunch to give that illusion of the coat, but giving more articulation and flexibility. Now he has some ball joints here at the hips, so he can go outward as far as this coat will allow, forward and back as far as the coat will allow. His legs can swivel inward and outward there at the hip as well. It looks like that's the only inward and outward. There is not a cut here at the top of the boot at the calf. He has a double jointed knee. As you can see, he can go all the way back like that. Same way on the other leg as well. And then the final point of articulation is here at the ankle. There's an ankle rocker. He can move it side to side and forward and back. So guys, there's Han Solo, and he does come with the previous accessory that was released. Like I said, it's the viewer. It's sort of like a binocular, but it only has one lens at the end. Guys, if you want to comment down below as far as the actual name for this piece of equipment, I know it's not a binocular or a monocular, but there's an actual Star Wars word for that actual piece of equipment. Let me know what that is in the comments below. So we'll go ahead and take a look, while we're on the subject of Han Solo, at the previous release with the Tauntaun. So if I can get a closer look here, I'll move Han to the side and Luke as well, so you can get a good view of Han and the Tauntaun that was previously released. Now I'm not gonna take this guy off the Tauntaun, because when I first got him, he was a pain to be able to get him posed on the Tauntaun in this position as is. So we'll take a closer look at the face sculpt. As you can see, it's a little bit flat and sort of lifeless. It has a slight resemblance to Harrison Ford, but not as good as the more modern photorealistic figures as well. Aside from that, the figure itself looks exactly the same as far as the articulation and the details in the belt, and the coat and the hood as well is also removable because it has that cut up the back. So there is Han Solo, if you can get a good look on the Tauntaun. And he does come with the accessory as well, the binocular accessory here, and there's some extra equipment built in, molded into the saddle of the Tauntaun. So now we have that updated Han Solo. I may switch these out and display the brown coat on the Tauntaun, since the likeness is much better. I'm not sure at this point. So moving on, we now want to look at Luke. Now the Luke figure, to me, I was comparing this to the previous issued Luke. It looks like it's the same sculpt as far as the body and the articulation goes, but you can get a closer look at that photorealistic face that looks much more like Mark Hamill than the previous release did. So he has the same sculpted hat that's sculpted onto his head as before, and he does have a real piece of cloth here for the face scarf, as he wears in the film, to protect his face. So that hangs down. That's an actual real piece of cloth. You can see the communication equipment built into the hat, and the sculpt is pretty much the same. The body, the face is just much better. So this is worth picking up and adding to your Black Series, just to update that Luke as well. So we'll take a closer look at the previous issued Luke here in just a second. So the articulation on this figure, the shoulder joint, well, we'll start with the ball joint in the head. The ball joint will move up and down and side to side within the limits of the sculpting that you see here from the hat and from the top part of the neck of the coat. So the shoulder moves up and down, forward and back, pretty basic. And he has that joint there at the elbow that he can get a pretty good range. Built-in trigger finger for the blaster that he does come with. So this appears to be the same issued blaster as the Han Solo blaster, same model. So he does have that, and he has a holster as well that he can hold that in. Now he does come with, while we're on accessories, he does come with the classic lightsaber. This lightsaber is the classic blue bladed from A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Pretty basic. Looks like the details are really good as far as the paint job on this lightsaber hilt. a little bit better than the previous issued lightsaber hilts as well. So another cool feature with these Black Series lightsabers is that you can pop the blade off so that you're left with an unignited hilt. As you can see here on Luke, he does have a hook on his belt, so that lightsaber can actually hang from his belt as well if you want to pose him like that. So that's very cool. So back to the articulation, just like the Han Solo figure, there is no wrist articulation. There is no rocker that allows that forward or that up and down movement of the wrist. He does have the articulation from side to side, left and right there at the base of the glove. And that is pretty consistent with the old version of Hoth Luke as well. Articulation is the same with the other arm. So he does have an ab crunch on a ball joint, just like the Han figure did. So he can move forward, back, up and down, side to side, twist in those positions. Same with the Han. This upper piece is a different sculpt than the bottom half of the lower half of the coat. So he has ball joints here at the hips, so he can go in and out, forward and back, any sort of angle there that you like to pose him in. And he does have a cut right here at the thigh, so the leg can go in and out there at the thigh, and even a full 360 degrees. Has a double jointed knee, as you can see there. Same with the other leg. There is no calf articulation, there is no cut there. And we have ankle rockers, basic, that go from side to side and forward and back. So there is Hoth Luke Skywalker. We'll take a look at the previous issue that I have here I pulled off of the shelf. Now this figure has a much different likeness on the face. Put this lightsaber back. You can see that this face actually has damage on it. He has some cuts there on his face and below his eye where he was attacked in that scene by the Wampa. So that sculpt there does not quite look as photorealistic as the one that Hasbro has given us now, but it is very cool to have the face variant where he is cut up, where he has been attacked by the Wampa. So he has the same cloth scarf, face scarf that hangs down, and the sculpt is exactly the same as far as the body goes. Now the paint may be a little bit more updated on this newer Hasbro version. It looks different slightly in the color and the sheen, the variations that you see. Not too different, but obviously it is the same sculpt. He does come with that lightsaber that he was issued with previously, and he has the blaster pistol that I already have in the holster there. So I wanted to take a quick look and compare the two, since we did have these figures previously issued. Now, just as a little bit of fun, the original Luke Skywalker here, the Hoth Luke Skywalker, did come with this Wampa figure as sort of a deluxe set. So here's the Wampa. He does come with his arm here. You can pop that back in and pose him. I have him posed with the arm laying down at his side where Luke had just chopped it off in the cave with his lightsaber. But this Wampa figure still looks really decent, really good. I don't know if they'll ever give us any reissued sculpts on any more Tauntauns or this Wampa, but this one is very decent, still holds up relatively well. This was issued, I think, back around 2014, 2015. I'm leaning more towards 2014, I think. But the sculpt on this is really good. It has the blood pouring down from the mouth, as in the scene in the film. Very good sculpt on that. And then there's the spare arm that he does come with that Luke chopped off. So guys, that was the Hoth Han Solo and Hoth Luke Skywalker figures from the Black Series, the archive wave. That these are on store shelves right now. You can find the brand new archive Han Solo Hoth and Han Solo Luke Skywalker on shelves right now at Walmart or Target. I think what I'm going to do with this previous Luke figure is I will maybe pose him differently, as in maybe as he's lying in the snow next to my Spirit of Obi-Wan figure, seeing the vision of Obi-Wan telling him to go to the Dagobah system to train with Yoda. Ben, Ben. I think I'll reenact that scene with this cut up Luke Skywalker, but glad to have this nice new photorealistic likeness of Luke as well as Han. So very good additions, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you have these already? What do you think of them? Do you plan on getting them? And what do you think of the Black Series overall? So let me know down in the comments, guys. Please hit that like button if you like this video. It really helps and supports the channel. Please hit that subscribe button and subscribe to the Pop Complex. That really helps the channel out, guys. Hit that bell so you're always notified anytime the Pop Complex uploads a new video. And finally, with a link in the description, you can go to patreon.com/the Pop Complex and help support the channel there, guys, so you can see better and better videos. It really helps the channel out, guys. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, and may the Force be with you.